Hi, beautiful hearts, and welcome to Two Open Hearts. I'm Carissa,
And I'm Susan.
and today we're here to talk to you about star language. So, you may have heard about star language before, and you might not have. Some people refer to it as light language. And I like light language, I like the sound of it, but I like star language more. And it's what we kind of learned to call it with our friends in our groups because it is it's varied. It's so many languages, and if you don't know what it is yet, it is languages that you have spoken in other lifetimes, and those lifetimes may have not been on earth. They might have been, they might be earth lives, but they might be from anywhere in the galaxy, from any star system. And so that's why the name star language really applies. So you might wonder, why the heck would I be able to speak a language that I spoke in some past lifetime? Like, I'm not that connected. What are you talking about? Well, star language is pretty sweet. And I only found out about it right at the end of 2017. And we've been speaking it since then, since early 2018. And it wasn't very hard. So in your fields, in your body, in your other bodies, your mental body, your aura, in all that is you. You carry codes, you carry information, you carry traumas, you carry gifts and talents. You carry a lot of stuff from many, many lives past. And if you haven't worked with any of that yet, you probably will if you continue on the spiritual path, because we work with past life traumas like all the dang time. So we are constantly dealing with things that are coming up from other lifetimes. So it's pretty natural now for me. The language itself it's a gift. When you are able to speak star language, you are able to bring through. It's like connecting. It feels to me like it's connecting your inner self, your inner heart, and your highest self. And they kind of come together. So when you speak star language, you're really speaking from your heart. It's a language of emotion. It's a language of energy. And sometimes you can speak it in a way to bring codes down. And when I say codes, I mean like packages of information that can be passed on to other people. So if I speak star language, it will automatically start passing energy along. And you can say that you do not consent. So before we speak any language, I want to say, if you do not consent to receive any codes or any of the energies from when we do speak it later to show you what it is, you can just say that now. I do not consent to take on any of the energies or codes that I see during this video. And that's totally okay. You just go with what you need. But if you do want to receive codes, I can promise you that we will intend that all of ours are coming from the highest vibration of unconditional love, and that is what they are. So these codes can wake you up to new experiences. They can wake you up to remembering your own star language. And that's kind of our goal for today.
Yes, everyone has star language. Everyone has even sometimes maybe more than one. And when we speak it, it definitely does wake up what you have going on inside yourself and activates that all to come to the surface. So it is quite beautiful. It fills me with joy to speak star language. And I know it definitely sparks joy in others as well.
Yep, it's that beautiful part of like connecting to your own heart. And so I can speak a few different star languages of my own at this point. And Susan can, but she has one that's so predominant that it always comes forth first, right?
Yes,
It's like the one
I
that
have
wants.
one that's very predominant. It is the one that comes out most all the time.
Yeah. So for her, that one will come. And this might be for you as well. If you are able to activate one, I'll talk more about how it feels and how silly it feels when you start actually. But once you get one going, sometimes you have to just speak it a lot for another one to come in and wake up as well. And some people say you should only ever speak the first star language you've ever spoke, but I don't agree with that, because I believe that as long as they're all coming through with love, they're all bringing gifts. It'd be like You should only bring forth whatever gifts or talents you had from one past life and not the many you've lived and earned those gifts and talents and like struggled and worked for them. The language is the same. You should bring back whatever's ready to come back to your life so long as it serves your highest good.
Yes, I definitely agree with that. I think that it's absolutely okay if you have 3, 4, 5 different languages. Each one will come out when it is needed and when it serves your highest good. And there's definitely not a problem. I think that most of us all do have multiple star languages that are just waiting to be released.
Mm-hmm. And some of us can even channel others' star languages when there's important messages that need to be heard. So we are Reiki healers. We work with clients. And sometimes when we're working with one, I channel other messages from their guides and angels in English as well. But sometimes another language will come through and I'll sing a song or I'll speak something and it will really touch them because it was meant for them to hear. And again, star language is an emotional language. It's not you translate it by feeling what it says, not by knowing what each word is on its own, like English. It's a gateway
Yes.
to telepathy. I'm like, I couldn't think of the word. To telecommunication. No, that's to telepathy. It's a gateway to telepathy where you can begin to try to figure out what it means.
Yes. And sometimes it does take a little while to figure out exactly what your star language means, what you are speaking. But
Mm-hmm.
I think the most important thing is that once you begin, that you just speak it. It feels so good, and eventually the meaning will come through to you when it will serve your highest good. It will.
Mm-hmm. So I think it might be a good time right now for us to speak our star languages one at a time, just so you can kind of hear. But I want everyone who's listening, who's joining us on this video, to take 3 deep breaths first, and we'll take them with you because it helps you get centered. Because then I want you, those of you who are willing to accept codes and even not, if you will just listen really with your heart. So you want to listen and just focus on how your heart feels, what emotions come up, if any. Do you feel pleasant? Do you feel like it was rough like sandpaper? What do you feel? Does it feel like a lecture, a gentle lecture? You know, it can be lots of things. So we'll take our 3 deep breaths. Ah, that feels good. Feels good every time. That's one of those things you can do when you need to relax if you've been tense or if you just really need some help connecting. 3 deep breaths. So simple.
Yes. So very good. The
So I'll
best
go
way to
ahead
begin.
and I'll speak whatever the heck language of mine wants to come out first. Sometimes I try to predict what I want to say, and I don't always know what my heart wants to say. So I get it wrong. So I'm not even going to predict. I'm just going to speak from my heart. That's my intention, speaking from the heart to you so that it benefits you in some way or brings us joy. Alenora sanamo kanara. Cheene arayetha nakotonomo. Anaye e shorna ye amo tunakanana. Are etondore tenekana mora yes. Anayethana kotonomora. And I can kind of feel what this message is. So it's joyful. It's like, hello, brothers and sisters. We're so happy you found us, and we're so happy that you are interested in your language because now is a great time to connect with yourself. We are proud that you wish to connect deeply with yourself, and we are excited that you may be speaking your language soon. Harepena natanakato, kornoye mashenatha, arayatsa dondo rakana moneshero kanana, kopore etsene etena tsena akana, hasha kanatoko no kona.
Well, that was beautiful.
Thank you.
Very beautiful. Okay, I'll go ahead and begin. Ana ka apo ana I ana e mo o ana e ke I na ka a I ana e na mo o e na mo a e ka a mo ka ana e I na ka ana ne o ma ne na ma I na ka a mo o o I a o ma a ne e I na ka a I ama ananama.
Yours was also began with being very excited for everyone to connect with their language and just the joy. You could really feel the joy. And then in the middle, yours sent a wave of energy blessing to everybody. So it was this gentle wave that just blessed. That's the word that comes to mind. It was just like this blessing. So if you didn't know exactly what you were doing, that's what I felt.
Yes. And I agree. I didn't know exactly what I was doing, but I definitely felt the welcome for everyone and the joy. And we're excited that you're here, that you're interested in learning your star language. It's beautiful.
It is. So, some reasons that we love Star Language, and we kind of touched on them a little just because it does connect you with your heart. It connects you with your inner heart. It connects you with your higher self. The joy of connecting with yourself can by itself raise your vibration, which is what Susan was telling me before we got on today. We were both kind of talking about what Star Language does for us. And so we sing it, we speak it, we speak it to the trees. I speak it to the animals. Like if I see some crows or some hawks flying low, I speak it to them because I know it's an energy that they can understand. No matter what language I'm speaking, they can understand the energy of it.
Yes, absolutely. I speak it to the animals and to the trees and to the water. And it is so beautiful and does fill me with such joy that it does raise my vibration um, to a higher level just from the sheer joy of it. I sing it with my grandchildren and try to encourage them to let their star languages out, which they have. And it is a beautiful thing to all be singing together and to sing to the trees and the water
Yep. Try
and
it
the
with
animals.
babies. Babies also love it. Like I've seen other people who are not me speak Star Language to babies in restaurants, and the babies' eyes get really big and they just, because they understand it too, they can feel what it means. Those little babies come in remembering so much more than we know they do. So, and my children want to come in at some point during this video and share their Star Language with you. At least my oldest son does. He's just chomping at the bit. So we speak it with our families who want to, who are involved and excited about that kind of thing. And it's just pretty great. I don't know, just like I said, it's a gateway to telepathy. If the more you speak it, the more you can try to pay attention to what those emotions are telling you, and it just helps with practice to get better at feeling the meaning rather than hearing the meaning.
Absolutely. It feels like honoring Mother Earth as well. I love being out in the forest and or even just out in the front yard and speaking it to the trees and the animals. And I feel like I'm honoring the earth, like I'm honoring Mother Nature. It it feels so beautiful.
I think it's because when you speak it to Mother Nature in that way, you're first of all recognizing nature and Mother Earth and giving it your time. And second of all, you're sending it out that heart. You're sending from your heart. And so it makes that connection stronger. And I think that's why it feels more like honoring than if we just go and maybe speak English. Because if we go hug a tree and we send Star Language out, it's kind of the same as projecting love forward from your heart.
Yes, I completely agree. It is like projecting love directly from your heart.
Mm-hmm.
That is the
Only you
feeling
get
that
to
you
do it
get.
in a
Yeah.
sing-song way.
Yes.
So, and if you can't find the love, like sometimes I'm down and I'm not feeling well, and if I can't find the happiness or the love, if I can find the language, it'll help me get there, which is another tool.
Yes, it brings you up. So yes, definitely in times when I am feeling a little bit low or things aren't going quite right, I do agree that when I find my language, it does help because it sparks so much joy in my heart to speak it.
Yep. So, you beautiful people may be wondering, how the heck do I go about speaking it? Well, you've already like crossed the first hurdle, which is know it exists. Because once you know it exists and you set an intention to find your star language, it has to come. So, those two things already open the door. And now we'll help you just walk through the door a little bit here. So, I want to talk about a little when I first found my language. I had just recently found out what star language was. I had just recently been exposed to another star language speaker who was able to activate star language in one of my friends. And so, knowing that you could not know star language and then learn it or connect with it was something I just figured out and was like, oh, well, if that person can be activated, then can I be activated? And so I read a book about what light language is. And in that book, they started to recommend that you just kind of baby babble. You know, you set your intention that you're going to connect with your language, and then you just start talking. That's the important part. You can't just keep your mouth closed and your language is going to flow through. That's not how it works. So I was just folding laundry one day, just hanging out by myself in a room alone, folding laundry, just making weird sounds like ah, blah, blah, ah, la, la, blah, blah, nah, nah, just trying to make some sounds. And before I knew it, other sounds were coming in. And at first, your egoic brain is like, oh, I am making this up. I am making this shit up. And you're like, I'm crazy. I'm great. I'm in a room just making shit up. But I can tell you that I don't think that's what's happening for 2 or 3 reasons. One, I can feel the energy of it now. So I can feel that it's actually a star language because star languages emit such a strong energy. And 2, if I was trying to make up words, I wouldn't be that fast. My brain would have to think up each word to make it up instead of just Arane tokono remaya asana tukono mora ni na yataro tokono lamana ina koromaniana haraya tokono moraya sarasa. That's me talking too damn
Awesome.
fast and having more to say than my brain can think up. Right?
Yes, absolutely. And it when you first begin, it is kind of crazy because you feel your ego mind is really trying to step in and stop you from doing it because you feel like you're kind of crazy and like you're making it up, and it's extremely challenging. You have to just have some trust and some faith and just keep going and know that it is a language that is coming out. I do recommend for people to practice in the beginning when they are alone folding laundry, or when I began, my youngest grandson was just a baby. So I also did speak star language to him, which he did love. But I did it alone a lot in the beginning until I got a little bit of a comfort level and knew that everything was as it should be.
Yep. And in the car, like if you do have to commute, I know not everyone does, especially now with conditions. A lot of us are at home, but if you do still drive around a lot, then it can be good to speak your star language while you're out and about because it's another place where people sing music all the time in the car. So trying to be making language is easier. It's easier there.
I agree. I've done a lot of speaking star language in the car. It's a really good place for it, especially you're riding, you're alone, you're commuting somewhere. It's a great time to speak your language.
So now I mentioned earlier that my oldest son wanted to share his star language. And so he's here to go ahead and speak some of his language to you guys right now.
Hello.
This is Zaid.
Hello.
Hi, Zaid.
I am 10 and I don't know what else.
And here's your star language.
Yeah. Ayo, hoya, maka, hoyo, ayo, shamaka, hoya, maka, hoya ko, hoya maga hoy, hoya man maga hoyo, ayo huma hoya maga.
Thanks, Zaid, for sharing.
Thank you, Zaid. That was beautiful.
And here is my other son, Ronan, who wants to come over now. Ronan is 7, and he has a few star languages too. And the one he wanted to share today, he calls dolphin star language.
Hi, Ronan.
Here, just come up here and look at Nana and do your stuff. Thank you for sharing, Ronan. I could really feel that in my heart.
That was beautiful.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Just speak it. Just give it a try. And the more you try and the more some type of language comes through you, the more joy you'll feel. And then you'll for sure know that it's star language. Because if it's coming easily, you don't have to think about it. Even if you think you're crazy, it's coming easily. And then it starts to be fun. Then it's star language.
Yes, that is it. Just play with it, have fun with it, try to bring it forward.
Yep. I'm going to look at my list of other topics we wanted to discuss here. Yeah. Okay. I think so. The last thing we wanted to do was set a sacred space, a safe place, so that if you wanted to speak star language by listening to this. So we'll set a space first. I'm not going to explain it all one step at a time because I'm get ahead of myself. So I'm just going to say for anyone who's watching this video now with their own intention, they can go ahead and sink into this energy. So Susan and I are set inside. I now set us both, as well as anyone who is listening who wants to participate, inside of a crystalline 4-sided pyramid. Let it surround us now. And inside this pyramid, only the highest vibrations of unconditional love, energy, beings, just anything. Only the highest vibration of unconditional love is allowed within this space. So when we say, yes, I consent, I want to be inside that pyramid of diamond white light, then that's where you go. And from here, we will be protected and we will be in this energized sacred space so that we can connect to our own star language. So then you set with your intention, I intend to connect today and moving forward with my star language, my own language of my heart that is speaking for my highest good and with my highest vibration of unconditional love. I ask that that come forward now and be able to spread and share codes with others and bring joy to the world. So once you've set all those intentions and we've set the ability for you to come into this space, and I'm just making it timeless. So whenever anyone finds this video, this space will be there for them to find and to step into, and it will be sacred. And now you've set your intention. So Susan and I are just going to both talk at the same time. We're going to speak whatever language comes out. And like I said, you're already over the hurdle. You know star language is a thing. You know what it's for. You know why you might want to do it. And you know it's possible to be activated in you. And that's your intention. So that's the hardest part. After this, no matter if you speak it today or not, from hearing us, it will have begun, if that's what you want to happen, it will have begun to activate it within you. And then you'll be able to keep practicing in the car and folding laundry and whenever you need to, because this is just your starter here.
Yep. So set your intentions and get ready.
Yep. And just be silly with it. Even if like I said, you can't start speaking your star language if you're like mouth closed, silence. So even as you're hearing us, after you hear us for a few seconds, start to get into singing or speaking or whatever, start making some sounds. It can be vowel sounds. It can just be la, 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 just make some noises.
Yeah, actually, when I began, it was doing the A-E-I-O-U, A-E-I-O-U.
Yeah.
And if you just repeat that several times and then just let it flow from there, it may be helpful as well. One other thing to try.
Okay. So again, we're going to speak and we're just going to, and hey, and also not all languages sound like flowing languages. Some of them are like clicks. Some of them are high pitched singing. So whatever it is that comes to you, even if it does not flow with what Susan and I are doing, let it come anyway, because it doesn't have to be. Let me do one more of my languages. This is the second one that came through to me, and it was really weird at first, and I didn't even understand when to breathe with it, because it like uses your throat more. So I had to figure out how to frickin' breathe with it. So it sounds way different than my first language or my second or the mishmash that comes out of me now. So let me see if I can connect with it. And I just want to say that you must see this confidence that I have right now to speak something that sounds so foreign to our English sounding ears and be like, yeah, that's my second star language. It really is. But dang, if I didn't feel like the biggest weirdo when I first started speaking it, because it's just not how I'm used to vocalizing in the language that I am native to. So I hope you could feel that one come through. It was also pretty excited, especially that I was highlighting different types of star language and different peoples.
Yes, I felt the excitement and the joy, the welcome of it. It really is a beautiful language. I know it's very different and feels very different, but it is also very beautiful.
Thank you. It does feel different. It's harder just because I have to time my like gasps of breath, because you can't breathe and speak at the same time with that language as you can with this is with English.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, breathe, because I'm So anyway, if your language sounds like that, or if it sounds like, whatever, just that's part of your language. And that is what's going to bring through your codes and your joy and connect to your heart right now at this time. And you will have many languages if you keep wanting to open up and connect with more pieces of yourself. So just go with it.
Yes. And they're all very different. My husband's was something like from the trees in The Hobbit.
Yeah, it sounded like the Ents from the Lord of the Rings.
Oh, Lord of the Rings. Yes. So very different, lots of different languages. So know that it can be really anything at all. Just trust in your heart to guide the way.
Exactly. And be in a place alone, preferably, because that's easiest to get silly with it, or with a friend who also wants to get silly with it. Just be ready to be a little silly first, and then you'll get a bunch of reward and you'll be able to connect in with your heart in a way you haven't necessarily before. So,
yes.
Okay. So now we're both just going to speak star languages for about 2 or 3 minutes, however long we can. We'll see what our stamina is.
Okay.
Hare mora na hiethea. Tonomo ara. Chea oria nara mora. Eda naina kora yasa. Ea aia. Cho oro no ianama. Tu oro oya. Uoa ara ai. Chela mora yanada. Arakatu sharama. Toromo. Ea ya asara. Quiero mana yata. Echa akadena anamora. Chaoropo yena kanahara. Chea ia
Arama.
torna kanamora.
Nana amaka.
Ela mora yas. Aya.
Ananene.
Etana kama.
I.
Uaya.
Ananana.
Uayana. Elaya toro.
Ina
Oromo
ane. Kipa
oyada
ana.
kanama.
Inna
E
mama
araya
ke.
sora
Ina
kandoramo.
a.
Uteneda namara.
Ikponoma. Inanana
Huasara
ka.
haseda
Inanana a.
resoro
I.
korasiana.
Kene
Haya
amo o. Ika
hasaria
ana.
rotora.
Inanaka amo o. No no
Hasarea
no.
hasandaro
Inanaka.
moreatha. Wende
Inanamamo o ka ane e.
aroposare handara.
I. Ka ane e.
Rea
Le
la
omo oko
moraya
o le e
te la
le o
candares.
le e na amo
Ora
o ne ke e
monde
i
candares
na 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 no oko
araya
i na na
rocanda.
ko a ne
Che
e
armona
i na na na
yedea.
a na na
Or
ka
oya
a
ana
o no ko o
marea.
ba
Cho ora
a
yesedan
i
tuko
a
chombo ona
o no
ye.
ko o mo o
Aya
a ne
mando
e
roya a.
i ka
He
a
awa.
i
He
ana a mo
awa.
ana e
He awa na ya
I anamo
manda.
a ina a ina na na
Koleme.
I ko
Kole
oma
wakanda
a ina
yamana.
ka I
Wayala,
oma ka ana na
wayala.
ono ko oma
Weo,
a
weo,
I a ina na
anakamana.
na ama a ka
Wahakana ye
ina no omo
wakandea. Weo,
I
weo,
popopo
andelea.
nene oma na nene
Halamana,
a ka
halaleo.
I
Weo, weo,
Mokada
akandea.
inanana
Wayo,
ama
wayo,
ika a
ahayana.
ika
Heyo,
o
heyo,
i a
heya.
inanana momokakana.
Hmm. Well, I hope that you could see how much more relaxed we were getting the longer we were speaking our own language too. Because now I'm like flying, my head's in the clouds.
Yes, it was really good. It was really good.
Yep. So you can listen to that as many times as you need, but just that intention, that's all you need. So we hope that you find your star language or get confident in speaking it if you already know one, and that you just have fun with it.
Yes, have fun. That's the most important thing. Fill yourself with some joy, have some fun, and speak that language. Let it out. Let it out.
Yep, it's so worth it. It's so worth it. And heck, there's no fun to be had just trying to be normal. Normal people don't have that much fun. If you want to have fun, go speak yourself some star language, maybe put on some tie dye. I don't know. Just go do something silly. Go walk around barefoot, sing in star language to the grass, to the trees, and to the birds, and you will have a good time. Trust me.
Yes, you will. You'll have fun.
Mm-hmm. We need to do more of that. There's snow on the ground right now. So I'm like, maybe not barefoot right now.
Yeah, maybe not barefoot right now. It is a little
Soon.
too cold out there.
Yep.
Too much snow.
So if you have enjoyed this video, if you've enjoyed, watching me and Susan being silly and having fun, then please subscribe to our channel and make sure to like this video. And we'll see you again next time, beautiful hearts.